Buonasera, signore, buonasera. Com'è bello stare a Napoli e sognare. Quante volte ho sussurrato amore ti amo. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight.
Buona Sera, Charles.
Buona Sera, Lena. Buona Sera. And Natale. It's Christmas.
Buon Natale. Yeah, it's our special Christmas show. Welcome, everyone.
Lena, we have so much content to get in here. I'm just looking so forward to this show. This is the best.
Absolutely, Charles. And thank you, everybody, for watching our show. You can also watch episodes on YouTube and lenaprima.com.
And looking for local television as well.
Absolutely. So, Charles, I love Christmas. Don't you love Christmas?
I do love Christmas. And it's just amazing seeing all the customs and traditions and the way different cities celebrate it and different families. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, fun. I'm glad we're doing a Christmas episode.
We have a lot to showcase. It's great.
Yeah. So we'll start with my background, which is Bolzano, Italy. And it's in North Italy, set in a valley amid hilly vineyards. It's a gateway to the Dolomites mountain range in the Italian Alps. Bolzano, or Bozen in German, has only been Italian since World War I, and its character remains distinctly German. At the center of the town is the Piazza Valver, which it's funny that it's half Italian, half German name.
It is.
It's named for a 13th century German minstrel. The town's most famous resident is Otzi the Iceman. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Otzi or Otzi. Anyway, the Iceman. It dates from about 3300 BC, and he now rests at the South Tyrol Museum of Archaeology. Nearby is the 13th century Marecchio Castle and the Duomo di Bolzano Cathedral with its Romanesque and Gothic architecture. Bolzano is also known as the capital of Christmas, which is why I picked it today, due to the famous Christmas markets that occur during the holidays. For almost a month, festive aromas fill the streets and picturesque alleyways in the piazza with shimmering sparkle of romantic lamps and flickering candles bathing Bolzano in a magical light. Doesn't that sound awesome?
It sounds where you want to be for Christmas. It
Absolutely.
really does. That I can imagine the snow and the community. Wow, what a beautiful place to be.
Yes. So we can kind of virtually be there right now.
We could.
What you got, Charles?
Well, I'm a place which is in Louisiana, which if you want to be there in person, this is Natchitoches, Louisiana, and it's known for its Festival of Lights, which is almost 100 years old.
Wow.
And you can see behind me, these are some of the lights that are on the other side of the river. So the city itself is mostly on the west side, beautiful shops, restaurants, and then you can actually cross a bridge to go to the east side. But on the east side, they've lined it with about a mile of lights, and you can take a boat up and down the river. It is just a night. There's music, there's stages, so much going on. And I just enjoyed the nativity, which you can see is in there, is one of their displays, because I really wanted to focus on nativity scenes as well in this episode. We have some amazing places. There's a living nativity scene, and close to where you are, Lena, St. Francis of Assisi did the first nativity scene in the year 1223. So nativity scenes are almost 800 years old.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it?
It is. It
So
really is.
do they have like the boats, the lights on the boats?
They have the lights. They have a very small paddle wheel boat, which is really a pontoon boat. But you get your hot chocolate, and you cruise. You go down there, and you can cruise up along the whole side and see the lights and cruise back. When they light it, then the opening weekend, it's really crowded. So you need to get hotel reservations in advance. That's also where the movie Steel Magnolias was filmed.
Right.
So that house is there, and it's a great. There's also, I think, a John Wayne movie that was filmed there as well. So it's got a great history in the movie industry, and it's just an amazing little part of Louisiana. So Natchitoches is just a really great place to experience Louisiana culture. The Sports Hall of Fame is on that street as well.
Yeah.
I stayed there for a few days and filmed, and I interviewed somebody, and we have a little bit of that clip where she talks about the story as well.
Wonderful.
So Natchitoches is great. But also in Laplace, Louisiana, and in Metairie, Louisiana, the churches do living nativity scenes, just like St. Francis did. So before we think of today as we're going to the store and getting all these figures, think about it. Back in 1223, those didn't exist.
Right.
So they did it with people, all right?
Yeah.
And he told the gospel with people, and that kept going on today. And certainly there's an Italian nun that's in Laplace, Louisiana, at St. John Parish, and she still puts on a living nativity scene.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a great tradition.
Carla Pieta, and she is fabulous, a wonderful person. And I would definitely go as soon as you can to see that. And, you know, Louisiana, we have the bonfires. We have so many great traditions. We have in New Orleans, there's the boat parade on the lake. You know, many cities up in Northeast Louisiana, they've got a boat parade now as well. Many different things to see and do in the Oaks, Christmas in the Oaks and City Park. A lot of great things to do Christmas in Louisiana.
Absolutely, Charles. And speaking of traditions, for my check this out today, check this out. I have 4 Christmas traditions from Italy. And some of these I didn't know about. One of the best Italian Christmas traditions is that they celebrate much longer than other countries, which I feel like that's very similar to us here in New Orleans. We like to celebrate much longer. Italy's festive season officially starts on December 8th, celebrated with the feast day of the Immaculate Conception. It lasts all the way until January 6th, the 12th day of Christmas, known as the Epiphany, which we call 12th night here. So I feel like that's real similar to what we do here in New Orleans.
It is real similar. And also January 6th is also Joan of Arc's birthday, and they celebrate that in New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and you have the 12th night, and it's also the Battle of New Orleans. That's a big day. So we do celebrate. It's a big day. And we do, you're right, we keep it going just like they do in Italy.
So number 2, a popular Christmas tradition for those who are in Rome is to visit the Vatican for midnight mass with the Pope on Christmas Eve. This actually happens at 9:30 p.m. rather than midnight, which that's kind of funny, and is free to attend. It is also televised in St. Peter's Square for those who don't manage to get into the Basilica to see the Pope and participate in the Mass up close. While some Italians are attending midnight Mass on Christmas Eve, others are whizzing down the slopes on Christmas Day. In northern Italy, people ski down the mountains at midnight, carrying torches as a festive celebration. I didn't know that.
Beautiful sound. I've seen that in California as well. When you see
really,
yes, when you see the skiers in a single file with those torches coming down the mountain, it's beautiful. Yes.
Number 3, it is not only Santa who brings Christmas gifts all across Italy on January 6th, marking the end of the holiday season. There is a visit from La Befana. Have you ever heard of this, Charles?
I love this story. Please go.
La Befana translates literally as the good witch, and legend says that on this date she would fill stockings with candy for the children on the good list and coal for the naughty children. But she didn't stop there. She would also sweep the floor, being a good housekeeper, as was in her nature, and this was also to sweep away the problems of the previous year and leave the family with a fresh slate to go into the year ahead. Her housework, according to the tale, stopped her from venturing out with the 3 kings on the night they went off in search for baby Jesus. She went off herself later on with a bag full of gifts for the newborn king.
I didn't know that part. That is a great part to know.
Yeah.
That she was going to go there and clean the manger if she had time. Maybe she still did.
I think that's a great story, and I've never heard that story.
I know that the Elenians here told it, and I've heard the story before, but not only about the cold and the candy, not so much about cleaning the house. So that's great.
That is. Gonna need a big broom. So in most Italian households, you will likely find a ceppo, a pyramid-shaped structure made of wood. This tiered tree was believed to have started in the Tuscan region of Italy. It is pyramid-shaped wood frame that can be anywhere up to a few feet high. The tiered tree would contain 3 to 5 shelves, and the frame would be decorated with fringe or fancy paper. On the bottom shelf, the family would display their treasured nativity scene. The remaining shelves would contain greenery, fruit, nuts, and presents. The nativity would represent the gift of God. The fruit and nuts would represent the gifts of the earth, and the presents would represent the gifts of man. The top would be adorned by an angel, star, or a pineapple, which represents hospitality. Some families would attach candles on the outside of each shelf and light them.
Nice to know.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so Charles, lots of Christmas Italian traditions, and some we have and some we didn't know about.
Well, and Lena, I will take that and lead with a couple of new ones here. And New Orleans, the cooking is important. The 7 fishes on Christmas Eve.
Right.
Here we have the gumbo. So I recently was in New York, and they were talking about the 7 fishes on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
You don't eat meat because it's a
Right.
feast day. So there's
Yes.
some more traditions that we have.
Yes.
And another one is Dominic the donkey, who I didn't know about.
Oh yeah.
So apparently Santa, his reindeer, couldn't get up the hills. So in Italy, he's got a donkey that helps him get up the hills. And that's Dominic the donkey. And that song did very well in the 1960s.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard about that story.
But Lena, I want to talk about your dad. Your dad had some great songs for Christmas. What would Santa say? What will Santa say?
What would Santa Claus say when he finds everybody swinging, of course?
Yes.
Yeah, my dad had some pretty funny, cute Christmas songs like Shake Hands with Santa Claus, where he mentions Scungili.
Yes. I want to put into here our Christmas show, a little bit of your dad's Christmas music, so people are get a taste, and they'll take it from there and go get those songs.
Awesome. So Charles, it's time for Charles Celebrates Culture. What you got for us?
Lena, this is what I got for us, okay? My part of celebrating culture this show is a couple of things. The Elenians here, and I've been to Sandra Day Scalise's cooking cuccidata cookies. That's a big part of our culture. So getting those recipes or going to somebody, we have a video out on how to do it. We interviewed her. She's got a cookbook. And the Elenians, they have a class in November on how to cook the cookies. So I know growing up, that was a big thing in my family, was cooking those cookies.
Hi, welcome back to Celebrating Culture. We're here today in Metairie, Louisiana at Andrea's, and I'm with Lisa Ingram, who's the president of the Elenians. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Lisa, I understand the organization got started in the 1930s.
The Elenians got started in Little Palermo, down in the French Quarter where all those girls lived. They were getting together and they just wanted to have a formal group. It was a carnival group, but they did not parade. They were named for Queen Elena. It is a fantastic organization of 4 generations, and we are now 88 years of membership.
I think your biggest thing is your Christmas ball.
The Christmas ball is a Christmas dance, or a ballo di Natale. It is honoring our 16 to 23-year-old granddaughters, nieces, daughters of our members.
Well, I gotta say, in 1980, I was actually one of the escorts.
Oh, neat.
I'm very much a fan of the Elenians. That was many years ago. So tell me, you guys do a lot. I saw your scrapbook.
We have 4 meetings a year, some demos of cooking.
You're making cookies for Christmas. Italian child looks forward to Italian Christmas cookies.
That's right. We love to try and bring back those nice arts that the Elenians do in their baking, and bring that back to those who might not have gotten those tricks of the trade from their grandparents or mothers. And there's the day at the races, because of course we are a philanthropic group. So we do some fundraising efforts. We do a fashion show in the fall, and then we do St. Joseph, then we do main crowning. So we just kind of enjoy all those traditional events that the Elanians have enjoyed.
Now, you guys were actually featured in Mardi Gras magazine this year.
They wanted to write more about those carnival clubs that really don't parade. And so it was a fantastic spread in the Mardi Gras Guide.
Somebody wants to know more. Do you have a website or Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page.
Well, Lisa, I want to thank you for being on this show. And I want to thank you for all the energy the Elanians bring to the Italian community of New Orleans and Louisiana. You guys are just a fabulous asset to the Italian Federation, to everything that's going on. And with that, I want to propose a toast. Salute.
So Charles, that was awesome. I love that the Elanians do that, to pass that tradition on how to make those cookies. I'm gonna have to go next year.
They love you, Lena, so it'd be great for you to be part of that. But I mean, they've been around for 84 years now.
Yep.
It's a great organization, and I can remember as a young child going up and Grandma had those cookies, and I know a lot of grandmas still cook those cookies, and I miss that I don't have a grandma cooking them for me. So we need to learn how to make those cookies.
It's bake, Charles. Bake the cookie, not cook the cookies. Look at me, I'm going like this.
You know? Set me straight, Lena. Please set me straight. I'm always saying bake the cookies from now on.
I love you, Charles. Well, thank you, Charles. That was great.
Thank you.
Feel all festive. I wish I had some of those cookies now. We should have had some. We should be eating them.
We will, and I will figure out how to get our hands on some of them soon.
Celebrating Culture is brought to you by Awe News. Awe News also produces New Orleans Insider Tours, which are 10 self-guided tours of New Orleans and Louisiana. To download the apps, all you have to do is point your phone at the flow code in the camera mode, and you're ready to really experience Louisiana.
All right, so now it's time for La Musica segment today. I thought it'd be great to feature our good friend Giada Valenti, who is originally from Venice, and she's just a beautiful Italian singer. She lives in Las Vegas now, but she does a show every year called Love Under the Christmas Tree. A wonderful show. She's just a fabulous entertainer, and she actually recorded a Christmas single with the Royal Philharmonic at Capitol Studios. So isn't that exciting, Charles?
Yes, that is.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Noche de paz, noche de amor, todo duerme en derredor, entre los astros que esparcen su luz, bella anunciando al niño Jesús, brilla la estrella de paz, brilla la estrella de paz. Oh, silent night, oh, Christmas light, es una noche de paz, una noche de amor, it's Christmas night. Silent Christmas light. All is calm, all is bright, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Brilla la estrella de paz, estrella de paz y de amor. Sleep in heavenly peace.
Giada.
All right, all right.
I just love her, don't you, Charles?
Oh my God, she's the best.
To follow Giada, just check out these links right here.
Perfect.
And thank you, Giada.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, Charles, thank you as well. And we're going to have a great Christmas, aren't we?
We are. It's really great. And what a great way to kick it off by letting people know all the traditions we have. And maybe they'll learn a new one that they want to either cook the cookies or have the fish or
bake the cookies.
Bake the cookies.
Bake the cookies. Cook the pasta, bake the cookie. Have Italian food on Christmas.
That's right. I'll learn it, Lena.
Buon Natale, everyone.
Buon
and
Natale.
thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Quante volte ho sussurrato amore ti amo. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight. Buonasera, signore, kiss me goodnight.
This little video today to share information about Italian organizations in Louisiana and where you can go to check all this out and join up.
Absolutely, Lena. There are approximately 15, and I might be missing one or two because we're still learning about a few things going on. So I'm going to start with what's behind me is the Italian Piazza in New Orleans. And this is part of the Italian American Renaissance Association, also the Italian American Cultural Center. Frank Maselli runs this. A lot of events throughout the year. There's a great museum. You can get dual citizenship, book a trip to Italy, learn the language, do genealogy. There's just so much right here. This is a place where the hub. This is the great place. Yeah. I have a position that Frank's dad used to have, which he founded, which is the American Italian Federation of the Southeast. So all of these clubs come under the American Italian Federation of the Southeast, which has a website, aifed.org. for Italian American Federation. And you can find out there how to be involved with us. What we try to do is coordinate so we don't have people having an Italian event the same weekend. So we can all help each other out and do some other things that we need to have synergy for. Some of the oldest are the Society of Cefalù and the Society of Contessa Antolina. Those are two towns in Sicily, and they go back 130 years. They started out building mausoleums to the residents of that town would pitch in, so they had a place when they died to be buried. And the beautiful mausoleums in St. Louis cemeteries for these Italians, and in Metairie Cemetery has a whole row, and at the end of the row is where your dad is buried. So this is a great way to be in touch, and they have events throughout the year at the racetrack. They have an annual mass day. They have a luncheon. So it's a great way to stay in touch with people of those towns. They both have websites, and we can look them up online as well. Okay. And they've been around. They have great infrastructure. They always need new members because any organization needs new members together. And two other clubs which are great is the St. Joseph Marching Society, and they've been around for about 40 years, marching through the French Quarter on St. Joseph's Day of the Saturday, either before or after. They have a big pasta feed of 500 pounds of pasta that they make at the Hilton, which goes to the poor. And the idea of St. Joseph's Day was thanks, and then the food would go to the poor. So they now are starting to do this all year round, where there'll be a pasta meal at St. Jude's or other places. They put on a fabulous parade. They have a Facebook page as well. And in Metairie, there's a bocce club. And the bocce club, they own their building. They have bocce typically on Wednesday nights in a league, and open night is Thursday. It's very inexpensive to be in the member of that. They have a Facebook page as well. And I've played several times bocce with. They have also events are held there. It's just a great part of our tradition. And the great thing about bocce is if it's a rainy day in New Orleans or a hot day, anybody can play bocce at any age. Now, if we go around the state, if we just start at Shreveport at the top and do like clockwise, the Shreveport Italian group has been around since the 1930s. It's probably the oldest organization in the state. And then they went through a period there during World War II when Italy was at war with America, where some of their names were changed to Progressive Men's Club. So they opened themselves up because they didn't want to be, they were dealing with the politics of Italy being at war with America. They started a group of about 6 clubs in the Northeast part, Monroe being one of them. Monroe is reforming right now as a lodge of the Order of the Italian Sons and Daughters of America, the St. Rosalie Lodge. And they still have altars. There's St. Joseph altars at the churches here, so that's a great way to be involved and help promote the St. Joseph altars. And then just outside of Baton Rouge is Independence in Tickfaw. So now we have in Independence, we have the Sicilian Festival, and a couple of weeks later in Tickfaw is the Italian Festival. But you can see in Independence, when you go to that festival, the whole main street is flying Sicilian flags. I mean, it is really neat to see. They teach Sicilian at the museum. They have the festival, and the Louisiana queens of all the different, the sugarcane queen, the cotton queen, the petroleum queen, the shrimp queen, they all show up to these festivals. They put on a nice events. It's just a lot of fun. And then shortly after that is Tickfaw. And at the same time, I'll just wrap this in because those are in March. And then in April, we have the Kenner Festival. Kenner puts on a great festival. There was a lot of Italians in Kenner, and many of them moved out of New Orleans in the late 1800s to Kenner and opened up their own businesses there. So they've flourished. And it's great to go back because it's like, that is like being at a large family reunion.
It is fantastic. And what a great group of people out there. For some reason at that time, the weather's always great.
It's early April. It hasn't got hot. It is right. The weather's great. And it's not a large event. I mean, it takes up space, and it's got everything you want as far as booths to go talk to people and food to pick from and music. And at the same time, it's not spread out where it's just a massive crowd. It's intimate.
Yeah.
We now have this new chapter. It's in the North Shore / into Ascension Parish, the river parishes. It's called Saint Expedite. And Saint Expedite is real. People laugh at me when I say this, but his history goes back to the 4th century. He was martyred. He is the patron saint of ending procrastination. And who doesn't need a little bit more of that in their life? Okay. We have some great leadership in there. And so we're trying to get something going, a strong club in the parish area, which is the middle part between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, to tie in all the clubs there and give them some energy. Across the river is Donaldsonville, which is where many people from Sheffield came, and they put on a St. Joseph altar. And they recently had a spaghetti competition, which was so neat because there were three, maybe 4 generations of people, families, cooking spaghetti to see who had the best spaghetti. It was just fabulous to see the energy of these Italians in Donaldsonville. Those are my mainline organizations. If someone's looking to get involved, you could go to SiciliJournal.com, or for $25 a year, you sign up to the Italian Sons and Daughters of America, and they will put you in one of our lodges. We'd love to get you involved. Thank you.